Good morning and welcome aboard. Welcome to today's session of Trade Along Live with Saul. This is a trade along service focused on the S&P 500 E-mini. This is an educational only service. We're here trading days between 9 a.m. and 12 noon with the action of price action trading happening between 9:30 and 11:30. Some of the key deliverables here in the service from an educational point of view only are Saul's key levels and zones. These are the areas that he's looking at in his own trading that we'll be focused on this morning. It's a pivot, price, and other levels on top and bottom of that pivot. Right now it's 9:25 a.m. on March 11th, 2022. When Saul pops in, you'll hear his voice. He'll take over the controls. He'll give out this morning's levels. He sets these levels right around the cash open, so they're more valid for the morning session. Remember, what I'm describing to you is what he uses in his trading. And from an educational point of view, he gives them out to you. You go through the session with him as a trade along partner. You can ask questions, you can interact. The key here is to be able to do 2, 3, 4, 5 trades, bank your money, and be finished for the day. If you don't have a trading technique or you're not happy with your trading technique, let us know so that we can introduce you to our trading academy. Saul's a 25-year veteran trader. He's actively scalping on a daily basis, or looks to actively scalp on a daily basis. He looks to derive from the market what the market gives him as he trades in and around his pre-mapped out levels and zones. There's a lot of adjustment and tweaking goes on. There's an art form that's part of trading. If you haven't gotten to the art form yet and you'd like to, ask us, and Saul can work with you on it in a private Zoom classroom. He takes a select group of traders that come into the service that sign up for his friends and family. Subscribe, transition from guest to subscriber. And then you have that opportunity to have a trading consultation. You have the opportunity to develop your trading skill. So the first entry into this business, into the Trade Along Trading Academy business with Saul, is entry into what we call this Trade Along Live session. This is the entry point for new traders and experienced traders. You come in, you kick the tires, you like what you hear. We've got great feedback on this service. And then you join. You sign up. We do it through PayPal. It's very easy. It's nominal. Matter of fact, I'll send it out to everybody now. I set up a new set of links here. Starts out with Trade Along Live at the top, and then it goes through. See here. You know, and I don't know if I have this every day, so I have to go through and actually find it. And then when I find it, I can send it out to you. Usually it's $3.99 a month. Right now it's on for $150. If you take 3 months, you get it for $400, which is $125 a month, which is a super deal. I'll just send this one out. But this is coming out to everybody in chat. Make sure you sign up. I ask you to self-police, but we do kick people out all the time. So don't be one of those pikers. Hey, Richard A., I kicked you out yesterday because you hadn't signed up. So let's do it now. Or I exited you. Patrick C., let's get you all set up. Christoph, let's get you set up. I think it'd be easier for you just to stick around and pay, Christoph. Hey, Frank, Johnny Z, James, Julio, KG. Juan, let me know how you're making out. Anybody else, make sure you self-police. Hey, Pat, how are you? Hey, Philip, how are you? Patrick C, let me know what you're doing. Patrick M, let me know if that was a good description for you. Carl P, are you signed up for Saul's Friends and Family? Let me know back in chat so you don't get exited.
Good morning, everyone. Let's give you our levels for this morning. Our pivot this morning is 42.87. 42.87. Support below at 80, 70, 56, 44, 33. Resistance on the upside at 98, 43.07, 19, 28, and 35. Pivot 87, resistance at 98, 43.07, 19, 28, and 35. Support below at 80, 70, 56, 44, and 33. We are up a little bit here. Market here is definitely reacting to some news that came out early this morning. I'm not sure what it was. I've been looking to see. There've been this, things about the war that EU pledges double military aid to Ukraine. I don't know if that was part of it or not. Around that time that they had that little rally. Definitely wasn't a fundamental thing. I don't exactly know exactly what it was. It created a rotation to the upside there early this morning at about, 5 o'clock Chicago time. Europe opens up around 3:30 or so it wasn't Europe opening up. So yeah, I'm still trading the March. Yes, I did not flip over. Let's see they're about the same. Should we do it tonight? Yeah, let's just stay with this right now. We'll stay with the March for this today, since I already did the numbers for the March. I did not turn over. I'm gonna make a note for me, so I'm sure I get this set up for Monday for sure. June contract. Sorry about that. I mean, there's enough being traded on both those months that shouldn't be a problem. Market kind of, again, a little surprised there this morning. I don't exactly know what it was that created the volatility, but obviously it was some news someplace. Could be a bunch of stuff that's out there. All right, market is kind of just hanging here on our pivot area, trying to see where it wants to go next. Are we going to continue this little sell-off? It's not a little sell. I mean, it's a nice rotation to the upside there. Like I said, at 5 o'clock this morning, so don't exactly know what created it. Trying to look and see. Again, there's a whole bunch of stuff that came out around that time, so I'm not sure what it was. We're looking at 5 points. I think is still a good number as our profit targets and stops are concerned. All right. All right. Let's see here if we can. Inflation took a turn for the worse yesterday in February. U.S. Commercial consumer price growth by 7.9%, representing the largest 12-month increase since January of '82. Core CPI, which excludes volatile food and energy, is the Fed's preferred gauge of inflation, even advanced 6.4%, according to the Labor Department. All the numbers are gathered before the supercharged commodity rally driven by the Russian invasion of Ukraine, suggesting the red-hot inflation figures are nowhere close to peaking. Yeah, it's true. It could be. Thanks, Pat, for sharing that. Putin says it's some positive shift in Russia-Ukraine talks in some international news report. That could be a good reason that said he's looking for a way out. I mean, like I said, the market, I think, the market will at least calm down a little bit and deal with inflation only if they can find a way out of this situation for Putin. He's definitely got himself into a corner here. Let's see. Some had thought that central banks would slam the brakes after the conflict erupted, but the market reaction has been just the opposite. A hefty series of quarter-point hikes are now on the table with markets appearing to accept the coming period of stagflation. And that's when sustained inflation is coupled with lower economic growth. It's a delicate balance for the Fed as tightening policies too sharply risks undercutting the economy and possibly triggering a recession. Let's see here. The market is kind of trying to figure out where it wants to go from here. We've got resistance up at 98. And see where it wants to go. It's kind of just back down here to where this whole thing started, this rally. Let's see, I don't want to make any predictions exactly as to what's going to happen in the second half of the year, said Treasury Secretary Yellen, former chair, Federal Reserve. Current chair is Powell under a blackout period before the FOMC meeting next week. We're likely to see another year in which 12-month inflation numbers remain very uncomfortably high, stating the Fed was looking at data carefully and will take a actionable response. ECB on Thursday cut its growth forecast and raised inflation predictions against the backdrop of the Ukraine war. The President Legrand even called the conflict a watershed moment for the continent. That will do everything it takes to pursue price stability. It also said that the ECB will scale back its bond buying program shortly before raising rates, with the net purchasing likely stopping in the third quarter. The market is pricing in a rare ECB quarter-point hike for October. It's 42. 42 is the 42.87 is the pivot. Sorry. Yeah, we'll make that correction. 42.87, not 43.87. Thanks for pointing that out. Market's slowly drifting down here to the 80 area. Again, very, very thin. Some things don't change, and you got to keep your stops in place. Okay. And keep your stops in place. That way you're always to be not get caught on any one of these moves, and then you never know what is being released as far as somebody saying something when we're talking. You just never know when somebody's adding to the volatility by making an announcement, like that announcement that was made about the fact that he's looking for there's some progress in the talks coming from Putin. So you never know when something like that is going to be injected into the market and create the volatility against the level, which is kind of what's been happening right here. So making sure you keep your stops in place eliminates that possibility of the unknown situation that might be affected. And it happens all the time. I mean, it's not like this is why we're trading, and this is why you put stops in place. All right, next support level we have is down at the 70 area. Chinese stocks listed in the U.S. had a bad day on Thursday as the SEC named 5 companies from China that could be delisted for failing to abide by America's accounting regulations. Accountability Act, which became law in December of 2020. The statute gives the SEC the power to delist firms if they fail to allow U.S. regulators to review their audits for 3 years in a row. This is the first time the SEC has warned companies that their shares are at risk of being delisted, but the reaction was swift across Wall Street. The sell-off spread to Chinese internet players like JD, Alibaba, Baidu, leading the sectors to suffer the worst sell-off since 2008. The China portfolio ETF, which is based on a NASDAQ, even plunged 10% to its worst level since 2013. All right, you can see here, whatever news that created that little sell-off, kind of, bringing it right back up here. Again, a little hiccup. You never know why it's happening. It just sometimes just happens and creates volatility. Unfortunately, maybe got it stopped out there. But it is what it is. Okay, things are very thin still. There's still 20, 30 lots up and down the ladder ticket. Very, very thin market. Anything could create, anything could push this market to get past an area that we feel is good or not. Doesn't really matter. It just happens, and that's why we got to keep your stops in place. Coming back up here to the pivot area. All right, let's see. There is a consumer sentiment number coming out here at the top of the hour in about 15 minutes. That's going to create any volatility or not, but that is coming out here in the top of the hour again, with every geopolitical situation going on, as well as the inflation situation. I don't know if it, at least at this moment, if it's going to really create any volatility in the market. These smaller numbers, obviously the inflation number is still something that would create some volatility. All right, very, very skittish, as you can see. Market just flipping around here a little bit. Just be careful, trade smaller, keep your stops in place. so that when they get run over, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Have opportunities to make your money back. Not a big deal. There's a lot of opportunity. Look, we like to average, I would say, about 4 or 5 trades a day. And these days, we're easily getting 4 or 5 trades a day here. So, you know, it's been a crazy week. It's been a crazy 2-3 weeks ever since this war started. Everything's been going nuts. All right, market coming back up here. Kind of the same range, kind of staying a little bit, trying to figure out what it wants to do. As you can see, they busted it down there a little bit down to the 74 area against the 80 that we had. And then popped it right back up here. Hey, Don, if you're there, just jump on board. It's Friday after all. Again, we are looking for opportunities to scalp the market. We're trying to take advantage of ebbs and flows of the market, looking at our levels to give us support and resistance areas, and as well as some price action opportunities that occur once the market paints some bars. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat. All right, we're just kind of hanging here on the lows. We got a small number coming out here at the top of the hour here in about 10 minutes. there are the levels with the 42.87 pivot. Again, this is still the March contract. We're going to flip over to the June on Monday. How you doing, Don?
I'm doing good.
Yes. Friday.
Yes, it is.
Been a very busy week, and last 2 weeks actually. It is good to sometimes turn the machines off. Just turn the machine off.
It has been moving, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not for the faint of heart these days, but again, it will slow down at some point. Hopefully they can figure out we can just trade on inflation worries and not everything else. So we'll see what happens. Who knows? It doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. That's the problem. All right. You got any feel for this market?
Yeah, I hope I'm right. I think it's going to go up here. But today's Friday. Now, if this would have been a Wednesday or a Thursday, I'd say yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
But I'm in the new contract, so
Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter. They're
Yeah.
trading kind of the same anyway.
but it sure looks like it wants to go down.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we got to get above, I think, the 95 or the 40, probably the 4,300 level for us to keep going up. Well, we're still putting a little pressure on the market. So we'll see. The next support level we have is down at the 70 area.
It looks like that contract wants to go to the 61.
It kind of fits in with the 70, if I'm not mistaken, initial being done in the same area. With your contract or my?
No,
Or,
yours.
Oh.
The March.
well,
I see the 70,
yeah.
and I also have a 61 down there. And let's see, what do I have on the new one?
Right, well, we're down here to the 70 area.
I have a 51, so yeah, that's about right. 51, 61.
Very, very nervous little market. Definitely a nervous little market here today, at least initially. And it's Friday.
Yep.
All right, just kind of testing the 70 area here a little. It's trading like nervous, doesn't know what it wants to do. Rallies and breaks, a little bit of pressure on the downside, obviously, since that rally this morning. But we'll see. I mean, this war situation is not over with, that's for sure.
What was the rally this morning about?
Somebody mentioned that Putin said that the talks were maybe okay, or that, let me see, positive shift. Putin says there were some positive shifts in Russia-Ukraine talks. A nice little rotation here against 70 area. All right, this took a little bit of heat there, but not too bad, and a nice rotation off of it. Again, like I said, you have to be a little bit patient here. You're going to get opportunities to trade. Even though we might have got run over on the first level, making it back over here. Again, if you scaled in, maybe you got in a little better.
Guess we're fixing to find out what they want to do with it now. It's 9 o'clock almost.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. We have a small number coming out here momentarily. So if you have a position on, you don't want to have. They even thinned it out a little bit. The ladder ticket. So if you don't like the volatility with a number, just. Nice rotation here for a nice push here off of that level, because they really care about this number. Surprisingly, they really lighten up the ladder ticket there, especially even in the June. They're very thin. Okay, we're flat, and obviously the number is out. So nice rotation against our 70. Like I said, make up for the 80 that we probably got stopped out on, and so we're not doing so bad coming back down here, just as they're really reacting to this number. Very surprising. The next support level I have is really nothing all the way down to the 56 area.
Yeah, they're going to want that 61, 62.
There's a 62 for you. We have 58. That's our next support level that we have. I guess the number was, that's why we don't like trading numbers. You never know which way they're going to come out. Even though I didn't think it was going to be a big deal for a number, it created some volatility here. The downside, looking at the 56 area, it's our next support level. And it's the perfect reason why we don't have any positions on when these numbers are released. Just never know when they're going to create volatility one way or the other.
I thought that 61 might change directions.
I don't know. I was hoping we get down to 56 and then decide to change the direction.
Yeah.
Settlement price is at 57 and a quarter. Kind of a little bit of pressure here in the market. We got support down at 56 area. See what it wants to do down there. Again, we did okay on the 70. We got, again, depending on if you had a finger stop out on the 80, maybe you got out of that okay or not. But even if you got your stop, if you stopped, it got stopped out, you're looking at, 70 worked all right for us. And now we're just kind of a little bit of pressure after this number was out. Again, I'm surprised that the number even such volatility, but it obviously did. Now we're coming out here. We got support down at the 56 area. I'm coming down here to the 56 area. All right, nice rotation here against our 56. Give us a nice little 5-point rotation. If you want to try to stay long, just scale out or get out and have a trailing stop. But nice rotation there against our 56 area. And it's a matter of just being a little bit patient and waiting for the market to give us an opportunity to trade. It's a nice little trade there if you were able to get in against our 56. And like we talked about yesterday, if you're wrong, you just get out and look for the next opportunity. You never know when they're going to be created or volatility is going to jump into the market to give us an opportunity to trade. All we can do is trade the market when it's there. Can we repeat the levels again when you get a chance there, Don?
Sure.
There they are. For those of you who might have just come in late, if you look at the chat box area, you'll see the levels that we gave out this morning. We use those as a guide to the day. We're still trading the March contract. We'll flip over to the June on Monday.
Sure would like to see it get back above that 77 area.
You have a good weekend there, Philip. See you next week. We had a good week. 77 area, you said? Yeah, that would, well, would be a goal for you, I guess. Market here again under a little bit of pressure. But a nice rotation against our 56 area there. If you're trying to stay long, you could definitely try to do that with a trailing stop or just keeping your stop in place and seeing what happens with anything that you got left over, of course. You're definitely taking profits along the way. All right, coming here against our support level of 56 and giving us a little bit of a bounce off of that level. And if you have a trailing stop, you want to try staying there, have it. Blah. If you're trying to stay long, have a trailing stop. Otherwise, just take your profits and look for the next opportunity. Right now, we've got resistance around the 85 to 86 area. Support level we have is down at 44. Let me give you a couple of levels underneath.
Okay.
44, 33, 20, and then 09.
Okay.
I have no idea which way this thing's going to go.
I know if it's going to go up, we're going to have to regain that 70 pretty quick.
Yeah, I'd have to say it's yeah. Well, yeah, there's definitely a little bit of pressure here on the market. Next support level we have is down at 44. Look at the chat. You will see the levels that we have, the additional levels that we put up there, just in case we get a little bit more busier or continue more to the downside. Again, we are not trying to guess which way the market's going. It's not our job. We are just trying to find areas of inflection that give us an opportunity to scalp the market. But sometimes if you get a good entry point and you want to try to stay with the trade a little bit longer, then at least you have the ability to do that. Depends on where your stops are and how you manage your trade.
The 44 worked in the new contract.
Okay, well, that's kind of 54 here, which is, I guess, our 56. So it's kind of the same. All right, and market here, a little bit of pressure. Right back here at the break even is the 57.25 is the settlement price. So it's kind of hanging around the settlement price now for a bit. See what it wants to go. Again, the news earlier maybe that created the push to the upside was possibly a fact that said that the talks were good talks and maybe some solution to the situation. But who knows? And we are trying to be patient here and waiting for opportunities. Like I said, we have a lot of volatility these days, so there's no reason to think that we're not going to get an opportunity to trade, even though we might have got run over on our first level there at 80. If we got stopped out, then you had
Your volume went down.
My volume went down. Is this any better?
Try again.
Is this any better?
No, it still sound like it's muted. It may be mine.
Can everybody hear me all right? Or is just or am I having trouble coming through?
You're clear. You just the volume went down. Sound well.
Okay.
It must be on my end then.
Okay. It's all right. You know, it's Texas. Sometimes it's far away from Chicago. Just kick the computer. It'll work. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for letting us know. All right, so we're just kind of hanging here around the settlement price. Again, I don't know if I never thought we were going to break. I think both. That's why we never trade on what you feel or think the market's going to do, because just not in the cards. Never does what you want it to do when you want it to do it, right? So we're just looking for levels to scalp, and that way you'll take your opportunities there, and then or price action opportunities as they occur, and trade those and not worry about direction. All we care about is movement back and forth, and if we can get that, we'll be okay. Don, you still there? Nope.
How's that?
Oh, you were always coming in good. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I was saying with the onset of the weekly options, it sure messes up Fridays.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, Fridays are always iffy. You never know. You never know what's going to happen on a Friday. People, nervous about the weekend, flattening out positions, getting into, probably, don't want to worry about what's going to happen over the weekend with the all the stuff that's going on. So there's a lot of kind of getting flat trade in the on a Friday.
I'll stay with it a little bit longer, but if they don't show me something, I'm done for today.
Yeah. Well,
I thought they'd yank the rug out from under everybody here.
well, that's the misconception about the mass agreement that everybody might think that is out there. I think a lot of people right now, especially with electronic trading the way it is, and everybody can trade, it's everybody's got different opinions. Everybody's got different ways of looking at markets, and everybody's got different approaches to what's going on. Sure, there's going to be some. Once in a while, there's going to be an agreement from everybody as to movement and direction, and it's going to create the volatility one way. But I think there's plenty of players out there that are looking for areas to cover positions, to get into positions, and it's going to create, opportunities for us to find those areas. I mean, that's the goal here, and a lot of it is still traded technically, believe it or not, even with the craziness of the fact that everybody's got computers and everybody can have an algorithm, right? Anybody can have an algorithm if you want. I just feel that I think the market still, at least this market, still looks at technicals and trades well against them. So the thought that they can all just go in there and all trade the same way, that doesn't usually happen because, look, I was trading on the floor, trading in Bond Pit with, 600 people. Everybody's got their own thing. Everybody does their own thing. You would think that you can get a whole bunch of the brokerage houses or even the big traders, let's say you had all the big traders on the floor could all do the same thing at the same time. It's not going to happen. It doesn't work that way. So yeah, even though you could say that all the big traders at one time can all do the same thing and push the market, but that's not going to happen because it's just everybody gets into people get in positions. Even the big traders get in positions that maybe they didn't want to, or they thought it was a good area and got themselves caught up, and now they have to get out, and it's going to create some extenuating circumstances where they're not going to be doing the same as everybody else. So, I'll give you an example of two big traders who standing next to each other, and there was a broker between them, and one wanted the market to go up, and the other one wanted the market to go down. So, the fact that there are two big traders standing next to each other, and they both had different opinions on the market. So one of the traders would stand there and try to bid it, try to make the price go up, and he'd say 9 bid for 100, let's say, just to try to keep the market, bid. And the guy who's short, who's standing one over, sells it to him. And then he goes 8 bid for 100, and the one who's short sells him to 100 at 8. and then it goes 7 bid for 100, and the guy who's short sells him. So then finally the market goes down to 5 and 4 and 3, and the guy who bought the 7s, 8s, and 9s puts them in his pocket and goes, okay, I guess I'll cover these a little later. So I mean, he's trying to goose the market to go up. The other trader is the big trader is goosing the market to go down, and they're both trading again. They're staying right next to each other almost. And so the fact that you think that they're all together and all trading together, it's not true. There are a lot of big traders who are short this market, and there are a lot of big traders who are long this market. And that's where you create the ebbs and flows. And that's where you create the opportunity there for us to trade as a local, I guess as an independent trader. There are no locals anymore, I guess. Local was a term that was used, if you were not a broker on the floor trading, you became a local. That means you're just trading for yourself. So now everybody can just trade and, do okay with it, I guess. So yeah, I like I said, it's not that as simple as you make it sound right there. I said the market trades well technically. So they still look at technicals to find areas, and that's where we come in. If the market didn't trade well technically, like I don't think the bond market trades well technically, and you're talking about mass infusion of trading at all those guys getting together. The government is the biggest player in the bond market right now, and they can move the market if they want. So the bond market doesn't trade well technically anymore, even though it still trades, right? So I said, some markets are there. I think you get the opportunity to trade it, but you need to find the market that trades well technically, so you have a chance to make some money. I mean, and look, just because I see technicals one way, and I use different concepts and ideas, doesn't mean that the other trader, or another trader, I should say, is going to look at the same concept and idea and use the same idea that I use, right? Because you can still look at people can look at a chart and get two different concepts or ideas out of it, get two types of information from it. If you look at an hourly, if you look at a daily, if you look at a 5-minute, and if you look at a 10-second one, like Don trades off of. So, you even if you look at a chart, you can get different ways of looking at charts and different opinions from a chart. But you have to, there's certain things that we do or somebody else does or another person that works for them because they view or see something in that in the technicals that are a little bit different for them that they can make money off of. So as well as we can put our technical analysis to work for us to help us, and that's all that matters. Somebody else might be doing the same thing, but in a different kind of context, looking at different kind of things. But that's what makes it so good at the same time, because there's so many people out there. We had a group of, when we were trading on the floor, of 600 people trading in the bond pit. Now maybe you got 60, who knows how many thousands of people are trading S&Ps, right? I mean, sure, you could say that the big algos and the big companies or big traders are trading the big size, but there's still a lot of independent traders, little traders who are trading a lot of, smaller size that are taking advantage of the technicals and the way they look at it. So it's you're making it sound almost conspiracy-like, right? That everybody can get together and move the market one way. I've just been trading long enough to know that it's not usually the case. If you get one movement one way, like this big move you had here, and it's like this one big move here from 70 all the way up to 35, that's a 65 point S&P move in 10 minutes. Yeah, that could have done. You could have maybe got the algos to work together and run it up, right? And then they all get together and they start slowly selling it off, and then they base out, and then they continue to push to the downside. Like, who knew we were going to go to the downside? I mean, this is first of all trading very early in the morning. That's besides the point. So maybe this rally here, when you get these rallies of 65, 70 points in 10 minutes, maybe you got everybody getting together and doing what you said they were doing. But that happens up to a point, and then they all get long, and now they have to take some profits. Even on this move here, you're not going to stay long because, you know, they created that push up here. Maybe they got themselves out of shorts, then they got themselves long. Now they're up here, and then what do? Right? And then there's bulls and bears fighting in this area here. And then finally the bears won and the market went down. But there are guys who are short and long up this move, and then they fought it out here. And then right now, at least for the time being, the bears have won. So again, it's not so straightforward to say that, you know, and actually, if I believe that it was rigged to some extent, that everybody can just get together and trade all one, I wouldn't be trading, right? I would not be. I wouldn't be on doing it because I don't think it is. Again, there's going to be always like moments in time when the market's going to run away from us, and that's why we keep our stops in place and make sure we use those and stay out of trouble. Try to stay out of trouble. So I will tell you, this is what happened when you're talking about the market being rigged, right? So not really rigged, but so I was standing on the floor. This is on the days when you can stand in the pit, trade on in the pit, as well as trade on the screen, right? So you could see that there were, I don't know, 100, I'm talking about the bonds, there were maybe 200 offered, 300 offered, and at each price, like there are right now in the bond pit, and in the 10 year, it's like 1,000 stuff, right? Point being that I would be standing there trading next to a broker, and it's, you know, there was like 200 offered, 200 bid, let's say, on the screen. And he comes in there and he wants to buy 100 lot. The broker on the pit comes and says he wants to buy 100 lot. So I buy I sell him the 100 lot. And I'm thinking, okay, there's 200 on the screen that I can back myself up against if I want to get out, right? Because, you know, usually you can see it start trading, or you see the market in the pit trading, and then you want to get out. You can. Well, so I sell the broker 100. And at the same time, the 200 on the screen is all gone. And so what happened there was that the broker, the desk, okay, he tells the broker on the floor he needed probably to buy 400, let's say, or 500 contracts. He does 100 with me, and then he goes on the screen and buys the 200 off the screen, and I'm left holding the bag. Right? Instead of him just buying 300 or 400 on the screen, he decides to get 100 from me because he knows he can get 100 from me, and then he can get the 200 from the screen, and then like I'm left holding the bag, right? I've got 100 lot here with no place to go, and it happened a couple times, and finally I turned around to the desk and I go, "What are you doing?" I go, "Why are you doing that?" I knew it was him. I don't know how I knew it was him. I just knew it was him because it was like almost at the same time that was happening, that I'm selling it to him, and he's taking it there off the screen as the market ticks down here a little bit. Got support down at 44. So that's, in that sense, it was rigged because he's screwing me, and so that was at the end. And when that happened a couple times to me, where I left holding the bag on 100 lot because he's doing both. Then I just said, you know, I'm done. I wasn't going to trade on the floor anymore. I mean, why should I put in the risk of trading on the floor if you're going to do that and screw the guy standing there who's been, you know, helping him the whole time? It's crazy. Well, again, so is it true? Well, I mean, large institutions or large traders, large algos, whatever, always move markets, right? I mean, that's why you get these like gaps in the markets right now when they need to buy or sell 400 or 500 contracts, right? Um, does it is that the reason the home traders are too small to add up to move anything in comparison? Well, it's true. We're not going to be small traders don't have the ability to move anything, but also we're also trying to find those good areas where we think that the algos are going to come in and go our way with a trade, right? Because it's a good support level, a good resistance level. Maybe the market's turned around. Maybe we have a buy signal and we're looking for the algos to come in and buy. So yeah, a small trader, we're not going to be moving markets. That's for sure. We never had the ability to move markets, even when I was, it's always the big brokerage houses that have the book orders that are going to move the markets. So that was also always the case, whether you were trading on the floor or even with the big traders. The big traders could not move markets when we're standing on the floor trading in the bond pit. It was always the paper, always the institutions, because the market always went to the paper. The orders went to the market, right? The market always went to where those orders were, and they always took them out or traded around them, right? So even the big traders on the floor couldn't move the markets. So markets have a way of moving on their own, whether they're algos or fundamental changes. They're at the end of the day, they're moving for fundamentals. The technicals are good, but they're moving and they're creating their own fundamentals behind it. So I know you're right. Most traders don't have the ability, and all the institutions that are out there are trading also, but they're also trading on bigger positions so they can move markets, but they're also, they could be wrong too. I mean, somebody was saying, I read that BlackRock, which is, a big institution, right, that's traded a lot. All right. Big traders, they're taking a big hit on Russia. They made a big investment in Russia and now they're getting creamed out. So even the big traders, they're getting, going to get sunk once in a while. So, I mean, to think or to have to think about, what you're saying about, is the market going to move only to big traders? Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be times when the markets are going to move because size comes in or fundamental news comes in or geopolitical situation is going to create some volatility. So as a trader for you, you have to just understand the volatility on any given day and adjust to it. And that keeps you in the game, adjusting your stops to handle the drawdowns when there's an extra volatility against if we come to an area and there's going to be a little bit of a follow through, maybe a little bit more than what we thought, or maybe it was perfect. I don't know, but you have to be able to handle the little drawdowns, and that's why you adjust your stops to market fluctuations and volatility. Well, yeah, they're based on the technicals, correct. What else can I base them on? Technicals and also levels that have worked in the past and that have seemed to repeat themselves. All right, we can see we're in a little bit of a range here. 47.52, you're talking, it's not resistance, maybe support. All right. Yeah, at least for a time being, you can see, I think if we get below the 50 area, 42.50, we might trade down to the 44 area. Thanks, Carl. Yeah, I got a lot of them. They were good old days.
Hey, Saul, can I pop on for a second?
Sure.
Hey, a couple quick programming notes. We're here daily. This is called Trade Along Live with Saul. The website is tradealongtradingacademy.com. If you want to come in and check us out, and you want to join us for Saul's Trade Along Live session as a guest, come into tradealonglive.com. Tradealonglive.com. For those that haven't signed up yet, take a moment to sign up. This is a guest to paid experience. If you're interested in taking Saul's private mentoring and training, let us know. Saul is available for a select group of traders to take under his wing, teach him his methodology, price action trading, teach you how to set his proprietary scalping levels. There's a few openings left. Hey, Kent, are you ready to go? Just give me a quick update on where you're at. You might be moving around, but when you get a shot, just give us a quick shout out. It's a great time to get yourself rolling. Hey, Anand, I wanted to catch up with you. Just let me know a good time that we can chat. We can always talk on what I think talked the last time on WhatsApp, or we can talk on Skype. So let me know if you're around. I just wanted to catch up with you. Valerie, how you making out? Valerie, Ron R, let me know. Richard A. Hey, Richard, did you give me feedback from yesterday? I didn't scroll back. I did have to exit you because you were on the list of people that weren't signed up. Wanted to make sure that you were signed up. Ramon, let me know how you're making out. Ramon, Patrick C. Let me know if you're signed up. Nawan, let me know. Hey, Johnny Z. Dermy, how are you making out, Dermy? Christoph and Carl. Just give me a quick hi sign. If you do get exited, it takes about a week to get you back. So make sure, or we have to make a decision to bring you back or not. So don't get caught up in that. Make sure you self-police. Join us here on a daily basis. And again, if you need anything, let us know. First action on your part is to sign up. I'll send out the friends and family opportunity here. Special links. And again, if you are liking what we're doing, make sure that you don't leave us hanging and you get yourself signed up and ready to go. We're here from 9 a.m. to 12 noon on a daily basis, trading day basis, with the body of the trading happening between 9:30 and 11:30. Again, this is focused on the S&P 500 E-mini. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the afternoons are reserved for those traders that have signed up or individuals that have signed up to be traders, being taught by Sol in a private Zoom classroom. That is scheduled between you and he, based on your availability and his availability. It's a great way to start out in trading. It's a great way to get tuned up so that you can look to develop consistent profitability in your trading. Sol helps you or looks to help you develop to be the best trader you can be, based on your ability. A price action trading methodology. Sol starts out his day, and he teaches you in his class and his mentoring and training. He starts out by setting key scalping levels that he is looking to interact with based on this morning's trade action. Starts out with a pivot and other levels on top and bottom of that pivot. And what I'll do is hey, Rowan, no problem. So I gave you the links. Let me know if you got it. And make sure, again, these links are exploding, which means when they show up, use them, because you don't know when you're going to get them again. So today, Sol laid out right around the cash open, pretty tight to the 9:30 opening bell. He sets his levels for himself. Today he set 42.87 was the pivot. He had resistance at 98, 43.07, 19, 28, and 35. Support at 70, 56, 44, 33, 20, and 09. And it's interesting because the levels are a roadmap for Sol for this morning's trade, a discipline, an advantage over other traders, in his opinion. Now, he does that because he believes the market's going to make change at those levels, and he can put on trades. He can put on trades based on his price action entries, exits, and stops. Now, these are taught or could be taught to you, or they're available to be taught to you. It's just a matter of whether you are willing and interested in being taught by the 25-year veteran trader of the trading pits in Chicago. Willing to be taught by somebody that is actively trading in and around these same levels, or the levels that he posts on a trading day basis, trading morning basis. One of the keys here, in our opinion, to successful trading is the ability to adapt to what's happening based on the opening bell and what transpires after the opening bell, based on price movement and the action of price as it relates to Sol's fixed, or as he calls them, his levels and zones. So there is a fluidity and adaptation that needs to happen based on your talent and your ability to trade and your ability to identify what's happening based on price change. Now, trading is very easy to get into. It's very hard to make money at. We call it trading is easy hard. It's easy because the trappings of trading, the idea of making money trading, the concept of being able to build charts and have time frames, crosses, indicators, are all very appealing to the concept of how an individual could look to make money based on their trading. Where we excel, or where Sol excels, is to help individuals start off on the right foot so that they're not caught up in all the false friend stuff that happens with standardized software, and to be able to take traders that have, in essence, fallen for it and are really looking to buckle down and start to develop consistent profitability in your trading, which, quite frankly, is a tall order. So if anybody promises it to you, and makes it sound easy, run. Okay. You know, this is an opportunity for individuals to work with somebody who you can witness on a daily basis here, get a sense of Saul's temperament, get a sense of his professionalism, get a sense of what he's doing based on him laying out these levels right around the cash open and seeing if the levels are working or how he trades along or gives you information on the fly based on the action of price during the morning session. And what I've seen recently is really good. We have an individual in here that asked Saul for what the ranges are for today based on stops, profit targets. You know, that means they're picking up on it. Now, Saul is working with individuals in his course and his mentoring work and working with them both publicly and privately during the morning session. But those that are part of his trade along want to know how the market is, you know, they want a leg up from somebody that has 25 years experience on how the market is behaving and how they can benefit based on that person's experience, in this case, Saul's, as the opening bell happens, as action and this movement happen around Saul's levels, his pivot or his other levels, and then what's really happening based on the reality of today's trade and how that relates to your ability to adjust, be adjusted, tweak yourself so that you have a better chance at making money this morning or Monday morning or Tuesday morning. So that's why this service exists. This service first exists as an introduction to Saul, his demeanor, his professionalism, and whether you would like to trade along with him, receive his proprietary scalping levels as an opportunity and a trading advantage to you from an educational point of view only, you know, education only, okay? And the ability to grow with him as you may take his services, where he can take you under his wing, adjust and tweak you, and work with you. So that's really what we do here every day. Everybody's adults here, we hope, and that you understand your risks and the risks associated with trading, and also the risk of not being good at it, and trying to put it together for yourself in the best possible way so that you can make some money on a daily basis. Make $250 or $500 a day. That's a great trading day. That's a trading business. You know, where can you go out and make money? It's a tough road to hoe out there. And if you can pull it off sitting in front of a computer, working, you know, you have to really be conscious of over trading, trading when you don't know what you're doing, trading when you think you know what you're doing, but you're still losing on a consistent basis or breaking even all the time. You know, what's going to be the difference between making it or not based on your trading world and your trading career? So that's the offer. The offer is to pony up. Don't be a piker. Make sure you're signed up for the nominal rate that we charge, because that really separates you from the pack. If you get kicked out and you keep weaseling your way back in, that's no way to live. That's karma. You don't want that to come back and bite you, because it'll bite you in other areas in your life. And you don't want that to happen. And speak up, reach out, be part of the family, Saul's friends and family. And if you're coming in or you want to invite your friends in, tradealonglive.com. tradealonglive.com is a great way to come in, check it out, kick the tires, and then ultimately work your way in. Work your way in so that it becomes part of Saul's friends and family, and work it out. So anyway, so I'll be in the background if you need me. But again, tradealonglive.com. If you want to check out the website, we got a number of avenues to come in here. It's tradealongtradingacademy.com. tradealongtradingacademy.com. That's where you'll see the opportunity to join Sol in his course and his mentoring. But again, it all starts with the concept of being part of Sol's friends and family in this Trade Along Live session. And then we branch out from there based on the relationship that you have, i.e. with Sol, because he's the guy. He's the one that you may meet somewhere and say, wow, I want to do what that guy does. And then have him help you or not help you, right? I know that individuals used to say that their sons and daughters were part of Sol's family so that he would help them, based on their trading. So anyway, so I'll be in the background. Step up, join the party, don't be a piker, and we'll see you on the other side.